Joining us now is Congressman Kinzinger. Good morning, Congressman.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
You sort of heard the Democrats' side of this. The White House says, hey, we're free and clear. The Democrats say, hey, it sounds like Mueller dumped this on our lap. Do you think the president is free and clear as outlined in that Mueller report?
I think so. I mean, look, in our justice system, especially on something like when the justice system's involved. So impeachment is completely a political decision. So if the Democrats decide they want to impeach, that's a political decision they can make. In terms of the legal side, if you're not indicted in this country and they say, you know, we have not reached the threshold of proving an indictment, then you're innocent in America, and that even includes the President of the United States. So, look, Democrats, and I knew this was going to happen. I supported the Mueller report from the very beginning, and I said whatever comes out, we have to accept, and that would be if they said he committed major crimes, I'd have to accept that. They said he didn't commit major crimes, and they have moved the goalpost now because they've just too invested in this narrative for this election.
James Comey was on CNN, and he says if Donald Trump was not the president, there for sure would have been obstruction charges against him. Your thoughts on that?
You know, I don't know how he knows that. He wasn't part of the Mueller report. He didn't do all the investigation. You know, he was out of the administration for about a year and a half, and he's been very vested in the political narrative of this. I like James Comey personally. I think people that give their, you know, a level of service to their country deserve respect. But I don't know how he knows that, and I guess the only way we'll know is, you know, someday when Trump's not president, I guess.
Well, as you brought up, it's a political question. So I guess the question is, do you find the president's behavior impeachable? You don't have to commit major crimes to be impeached. When you look at the how he outlined the way the president may have interfered, do you feel that that's impeachable?
No, I don't think it's impeachable. Look, I don't like everything the president did. I don't like everything the president tweets, right? But it's a whole different thing to jump to a level of impeachment and support that. High crimes and misdemeanors. When the Mueller report basically said, look, we cannot, first off, there was no Russian collusion, which kicked this whole thing off in the first place. And then secondly, we're not saying there was obstruction of either. We're not exonerating him, but we're not convicting him. Now to go to a level of impeachment, I think, is a bridge too far. It is a political procedure to impeach, but I think if we start getting to where we're just impeaching people we don't like, look at what Republicans did in 1998 against Bill Clinton, and they paid very dearly for that. And I think the American people, and you see it in the polls, don't want impeachment, even if they don't agree with the president's behavior in all cases.
Other big story overnight is this increase in Chinese tariffs from 10% to 25%. The president instigated that to try and get these trade talks working again. Do you think it'll backfire, or do you think the Chinese will accept it and back down?
I certainly hope it works. I don't know the answer, but I'll tell you this much. We had been pretty close to an agreement, and then the Chinese backed away on some things that included IP protection, which is really the big issue we have with China. And I think the president was right to say, look, I'm not gonna give on this major thing. Come back to the table with what you originally agreed to. I think we'll see a resolution to this. This actually hurts China worse than it hurts us. They just have a higher pain threshold than we do. But I think ultimately we'll get an agreement out of this, and I certainly hope so.
And quickly, if you were offered the job for U.S. Secretary of the Air Force, would you accept that job?
Yeah, I'd certainly take a solid look at it. You know, I love my job in Congress. I fully intend to run again, but it's a really revolutionary time for the Air Force. If the president called me, I'd do some pretty strong searching about that for sure.
All right, Representative Kinzinger, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.